What's up, my bearded bros? Bearded Maniac here with another NBA free agency video, and I know we didn't do any on Sunday, but today is currently Monday and a lot has happened, so let's get straight into the news. Recently released at 11:13 last night, Paul Millsap has agreed to a 3-year, $90 million deal with the Denver Nuggets. Now, I think this makes him a serious playoff contender in the West now because they were close to pushing in last year. But adding a really solid all-star in Paul Millsap is a great addition for their young roster. Also, it makes the West even better, which is kind of scary. And you may ask why the Grizzlies are here. That's because young guard Ben McLemore has signed a 2-year, $10 million deal with the Grizzlies. He's only from the 2013 draft, so the fact that he is unrestricted free agent already is kind of crazy. But not a huge contract, but solid addition to the Grizzlies. Justin Holiday signed a 2-year, $9 million deal with the Bulls, adding some extra guard help for the Bulls, which is sorely needed, but I don't even know if I can consider them a legit playoff contender at this point. Shabazz Muhammad is now an unrestricted free agent after the Timberwolves rescinded their offer. Vince Carter is still a free agent. He is meeting with people, though, which is good. Otto Porter Jr., a really solid small forward, even if you play NBA 2K. He got a max offer from the Kings, which will be interesting because it seems like the Kings are trying to contend this year instead of just plain old rebuilding. Kyle Lowry is signing a 3-year, $100 million contract to stay in Toronto. If you ask me, that's way too much considering he's really good, but he's not $30 million a year good. Nick Young is looking to be a backup to Klay Thompson in Golden State, which, you know, the rich get richer. Even though in 4 years it looks like the luxury tax for Golden State is going to be over $100 million. Nene also ended up working out his deal with the Rockets. It's now 3-year, $11 million. Because of the over 38 rule, which is one of the most insane rules in sports history. Kyle Korver also re-signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers for a 3-year, $22 million deal, adding some solid depth that they needed. But I think, honestly, $22 million for Kyle Korver at this point in his career is a little too high. I would maybe pay 3-year, $20 million. Gibson's also moving to the Timberwolves, so not only are they adding Jimmy Butler, but they are adding Taj Gibson on a 2-year, $28 million deal. Honestly, in my opinion, a little bit too high. Maybe $25 million for a guy at the point in his career. He's joining his old coach and his old teammate, of course, Jimmy Butler and Tom Thibodeau. So we'll see how this handles with the young guns. Ibaka also re-signed with the Raptors, so him and Lowry are going to be working together again. PJ Tucker is now playing for the Houston Rockets, so it'd be interesting to see what they do to add on if they add anybody else. Will they trade for Carmelo? I do not know. Iguodala is re-signing with the Warriors for $48 million for 3 years because it doesn't matter because apparently if you're the Warriors you can go over the non-existent cap as many times as you want and still re-sign people. Joe Ingles, a really underrated small forward in my opinion, is re-signing with the Jazz on a 4-year, $52 million deal. So I hope he improves. The Cavs also signed Jose Calderon as solid backup for Kyrie Irving, which is nice. And Amir Johnson, ex-Boston Celtic, is now moving to the 76ers on a 1-year, $11 million deal. For me, I think the money's right, considering it's a 1-year deal. He's going to the 76ers, so his leadership might be able to help the young guys a little bit, even though Amir Johnson was probably the weakest point in the Celtics playoff run, which kind of sucks to say, because I'm not trying to insult him whatsoever. And Michael Carter-Williams is leaving the Bulls for the Hornets, so he's going to be back up for Kemba Walker, even though he sucks. JJ Redick's also going to the 76ers. I don't know if I included this in the last video, but he's got playoff experience, veteran experience that he can really bring to maybe Saric or Fultz or whatever, which would be interesting to see. David West is with the Warriors again, and I think the last thing I have to report that I didn't report last time is the Rockets have agreed to a multi-year contract with 7'2" Joe Chi, I believe is how you pronounce his name. The final structure of the deal is undergoing final touches, but he's joining the Rockets for the 2017-2018 season. It kind of is reminiscent of Yao Ming, and I'm not saying that because they're both Asian. That's racist and very offensive, but I'm saying that because they're both 7'2" players. So I'm hoping that this guy doesn't have that won't develop the injury history that derailed Yao Ming's potential Hall of Fame career. It was sad watching that happen. I believe I already went over Drew Holiday going to the Pelicans, or staying with the Pelicans. Sean Livingston staying with the Warriors, and Cristiano Felicio to a 4-year extension with the Bulls or whatever. Teague going to Minnesota to replace Rubio. I don't know if Tony Snell re-signing with the Bucks. If I didn't go over this last part, the Teague part, I do want to say having him in Minnesota, I would say increases their playoff chances from maybe, around, I'd say 58% after adding Jimmy Butler. I think this increases it to like a 72% chance, because Teague is such an improvement over Ricky Rubio. He's a more reliable shooter. Even if he's not a more reliable shooter in the sense that he can shoot better percentage, they know he can shoot, so he's going to draw defense better than Ricky Rubio could. I think it's one of the most underrated signings of the year, actually. And last but not least, just remember the moratorium doesn't end until July 6th. So these deals could, some of the players could back out of them. That would be interesting to see. If you don't remember a case of this happening, just remember that DeAndre Jordan backed out of his deal with the Mavericks to re-sign with the Clippers a couple years back. So anything is possible. Anyway, guys, if you found any of this information helpful, if you want to let me know what you think of any of the signings, don't forget to comment in the section down below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. The bottom half of the Western Conference playoffs will be interesting to watch this year. Who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. East, on the other hand, the bottom half will probably be the least interesting component to the whole season. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.